The mountain was silent. The people stood between two opinions, torn between God and Baal. One prophet stood alone against hundreds. But that day, heaven would answer with fire. This is the fire that fell and licked up the water. The land of Israel was in drought. 3 years without rain because the people had turned from God to worship Baal. Then Elijah, the prophet of the Lord, came before King Ahab and said, "Gather all Israel to Mount Carmel and bring the prophets of Baal." So they came, hundreds of prophets, all dressed in their robes, confident in their false god. Elijah stood alone. But faith doesn't need numbers, it just needs obedience. He said, "How long will you waver between two opinions? If the Lord is God, follow him. But if Baal, follow him." The people were silent. Then Elijah made a challenge. 2 bulls, 2 altars, but no fire. The God who answers by fire, he is God. From morning until evening, the prophets of Baal shouted and danced, cutting themselves, crying, "O Baal, answer us." But nothing happened. No voice, no fire, no power. Then Elijah stepped forward. He rebuilt the altar of the Lord with 12 stones, one for each tribe of Israel. He placed the wood and the sacrifice on it. And then he did something that made no sense. He told them to pour water all over it. Not once, not twice, but 3 times, until the trench around the altar was filled with water. It was impossible for fire to burn, and that's exactly how Elijah wanted it. Because when God moves, no doubt deserves the glory. Elijah prayed simply, "Lord, let it be known this day that you are God in Israel." Then fire fell from heaven. It consumed the sacrifice, the wood, the stones, and even the water in the trench. The crowd fell on their faces, shouting, "The Lord, he is God. The Lord, he is God." That fire wasn't just proof, it was revival. It burned away doubt, silence, and compromise. And it reminds us today that God still answers by fire, not always the fire that destroys, but the fire that refines, purifies, and reignites faith. So when your altar seems soaked with impossibility, when everything looks too wet to burn, remember Elijah's prayer. God doesn't need dry wood to set a fire. He just needs a willing heart. This is the fire that fell and licked up the water. A story of bold faith, divine power, and the God who still answers by fire. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful Bible stories and faith-building revelations. Thanks for watching.